Boom. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Christopher Barnett, and today's video is going to be yet another edition of my monthly manga reads series for the month of May 2021. So we got a decent amount of volumes in this past month. We continued a couple of series. We actually completed one in its entirety, and we even started a brand new one as well. But before we go ahead and get started, if you do happen to enjoy this video, please go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And while you're doing that, do be sure to check out my Instagram, both my fitness one and my manga related one. Respectively, they are at CB317fitness and wolf.manga. So go ahead and check those out, shoot me a follow. And so yeah, guys, don't want to waste too much more time with that. Let's go ahead and get right into the manga reads video. All right, so the first series is going to be Attack on Titan, volumes 8 and 9. Yeah, 8 and 9. And holy freaking cow, guys, this was a solid set of volumes right here. So personally, I feel that with these two volumes, the plot, the momentum is starting to pick up a little bit. Obviously we're introduced to the female Titan and the Beast Titan. And so in these volumes, they had a pretty good amount of action scenes, a healthy dose of suspense and shock value, if you will. And personally, I actually do like the kind of scratchy art style that Isayama pumps out. The reason that I appreciate that type of art style is because it kind of gives me a reminder that this is not that this was created by another human being. It's imperfect, and I think that there is beauty in that imperfection. So not to suggest that his art is bad at all, is not what I'm saying, but it does remind me that a human did create this story, and it just kind of gives like a less artificial vibe to me. And even if you guys are anime only for Attack on Titan, I still highly recommend reading the manga. Obviously, at the start, since you already know what's going to happen, it's a little bit kind of like it drags on a little bit. It's not as suspenseful for you because you already know the events that happen. But the thing is that reading through the manga after the anime helps kind of clarify points that you missed the first time that you watched it. I think most people should probably read this at some point. Why not, right? Anyways, that's that, guys, and let's go ahead and move on to the next title. All right, folks, and the next series that we have for you today is going to be the entire Elfen Lied. This is very hard to hold for me, by the way. The entire Elfen Lied omnibus collection. I think this in total contains like 12 volumes. This is another Dark Horse publication. I really do like Dark Horse publications, especially obviously the Berserk Deluxe. It's like one of my favorites right now. On to the actual series itself. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is kind of a love-hate relationship here. First and foremost, I just wanted to note that in the end, I really did enjoy the Elfen Lied manga. I was looking at some reviews online, and they're very mixed, right? Some people will say that they love the series, that they think it's a masterpiece, and then other people will just utterly trash it, and I think it's kind of unfortunate. I can't speak for the anime because I haven't watched it. It's on my, to watch list, but that's beside the point right now. I'm only talking about the manga. But anyways, it's a little bit unfortunate that people do kind of trash it because I really did enjoy the manga. In the end, I didn't think that it was perfect in the slightest, but, I do think that it is a work of art, so to speak. And so basically, for those of you unfamiliar with the series, the story is centered on the birth of a new humanoid species in modern day. And this new species is called Diclonii, or Diclonius for the singular version. In terms of what they look like that differentiate them from humans, the only, substantial noticeable difference is that they have kind of little horns growing out. I'll show you right now. They have these little horns growing out. At first I thought that they were ears, but yeah, they're horns. And as for, other key differences, I do implore you to read the manga for that. I don't want to spoil that portion, but there are some other key differences between, the humans and the Diclonii. And in short, the story follows this kind of teenage Diclonius girl who is essentially subjected to torment, rejection, and outright experimentation by human society. And we kind of alternate from, her perspective and then this perspective of this other kind of group of friends that she meets along the way. And I'm not going to get too detailed into that, but the main male character's name is Kuta, I believe. I might be mispronouncing it as I haven't watched the anime. Obviously, there is going to be some development with that relationship going on. I'm not going to get too detailed into that right now, but I will say that along the way, we do meet just a variety of characters with just a whole spectrum of personality differences. And, to say the least, guys, a whole lot of shit happens in this manga. If you're a tragedy addict like myself, or you appreciate gory series, or even outright, messed up circumstances, then this might be a manga for you. Yeah, there's some plot holes and inconsistencies here and there. And, like I mentioned, it's gory, there is a lot of nudity involved, but you kind of look past that at a certain point. Obviously, the artwork is not the best out there, but personally, what I think the author lacked in his art skill he made up for in his exploration of very dark and sensitive topics and themes. Themes like social isolation, abuse and neglect, hatred and prejudice, love and friendship, identity, self-hatred even, and what it means to truly be human. So don't be fooled by the cover, guys. It looks like a relatively innocent kind of series. It's not. It's not. This manga kind of bounces back from happiness to sadness like a yo-yo. It's a twisted, gory, tragic story that still manages to capture some of the tender moments in life, in spite of these harsher themes. And so if any of that kind of piqued your interest, I do highly implore you to just give it a shot. Give it a shot, as long as you're over 18, of course. And I can't guarantee that you're gonna love it, guys. There were moments in the series that were truly painful to the heart, I thought. But in the end, it's certainly something to talk about. And all in all, I certainly liked it. So that is that, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the next title. Alrighty, folks, so the next series we have, and you can see a big smile on my face, and that is going to be the Quintessential Quintuplets, volumes 5 through 10. I freaking love this series, guys. Like, this is high up there on my mouth. And I believe seasons 1 and 2 from the anime adapt volumes 1 through 10 of the manga. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think it's that, or it's something close to that. Just look at how freaking beautiful these spines are. Like, these are absolutely amazing. So by far, this is probably my favorite rom-com harem series. The quintuplets are just absolutely adorable, funny, interesting, charming, and quirky, and the list just goes on and on. And if I had to pick my favorite, of course I'm gonna be picking Miku, guys, and then, that's just kind of a given. She is objectively best Quint. No, I'm just kidding. But I do prefer her. I mean, she's got that quirky interest. I'm not going to mention it just to avoid spoilers. But in addition to that, she's got that shy personality, and overall, total waifu. But not just Miku. I mean, I really love all the Quints all in all. They all have interesting and quirky characteristics. Itsuki, Ichika, Yotsuba, and Nino. And admittedly at the start of the series, I really detested and did not like Nino. But I don't remember the exact volume, but in this kind of collection, volumes 5 through 10, a lot of juicy stuff happens, to say the least, that kind of made me rethink my perception of Nino. And I actually do really like her right now. And let's just say at this point where I am in the manga, nothing is set in stone for Futaro yet, or Uesugi-san, as Yotsuba says. Futaro can literally end up with any one of these girls, and that's the really fun and exhilarating part of reading this manga, is you don't know which one he's going to end up with. The author really keeps you on your toes all the time. And I mentioned this before, but for those of you unfamiliar, the series is basically about this kind of shut-in academic high school student, right? And he's assigned to kind of tutor these 5 quintuplets in high school that he meets, one of whom he's eventually going to marry in the end. And overall, this is such a fun freaking series, guys. We get to see all their little mini adventures, comedic encounters, and we see how the Quints kind of bring Futaro to life, so to speak. And we also see how Futaro kind of affects the Quints, and that they develop more responsibility over time, that they take their academics more seriously, and so forth. And together with the 6 of them, with this almost mutual symbiotic relationship of sorts, they all affect each other. They all help each other grow and develop in the long run. And so overall, I just really love this series, guys. I highly recommend it if you do enjoy rom-com and harem series, or even just school-related manga as well. And so that is that, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the next series. All right, and next up we have the To Love Ru Omnibus 1, which contains the first 2 volumes of the series. And so this is kind of an ecchi harem sci-fi type of series. So the story revolves around this kind of clumsy, awkward high school boy named Rito, and he ends up encountering this devil-tailed, super energetic alien girl named Lala, who comes from the planet, I think it's called Deviluke or something like that. I might be mispronouncing it. And when he first meets her, I think he lands in his bathtub or his bathroom naked, just absolutely without a care in the world. And basically the premise is that she kind of ran away from her home planet because her father's this great king or emperor of a galaxy, or the galaxy, I can't remember exactly, but essentially he's looking for a suitor for his daughter Lala, and she was not having it, so she wanted to flee. Lala does not want to marry some random candidate from wherever in the galaxy he's from. And so after she escapes, she coincidentally encounters Rito, whom she claims that she's going to be marrying. And so what I think that they're getting at here is, originally she's going to be using Rito as this kind of excuse to kind of push away her father's minions and have them stop, pursuing her. Because if she's going to be marrying Rito, she can't marry some other candidate or suitor. But I think that as we read more and more, she's most likely going to actually fall in love with him, and then she's probably going to want to marry him. That's just simply a prediction on my part. Of course, it's a harem series, so maybe Rito ends up with, all the girls involved. And like I said, since it is harem, obviously there's another female character that we're introduced to who's actually his kind of lifelong crush, so to speak. But I do predict that that's going to make for some, how should I say this, romantic and comedic tension overall. So basically we just kind of go through their, romantic, comedic, and just wacky experiences. Mostly wacky. And it's kind of funny because Rito just wants to, live a normal life, but now he's involved with this whole freaking intergalactic marriage thing going on. Like it's kind of funny. But if I'm going to be quite honest, it's nowhere near something like High School DxD or the Quintessential Quintuplets for me. But of course, it's only the first 2 volumes, so I can't make a definitive conclusion on it yet. I will have to read more. But as of right now, this manga, it's okay. Not great, but it's decent, So if you wanted to give it a shot, this is a harem ecchi series, and yeah, to love Rue. Alright guys, and so this last one is going to be one of my personal favorite series, not my all-time favorite, but definitely high up there. And that is going to be the second complete collection of the Orange manga. And the whole series in itself I think is just really well done and well crafted. It's actually a shoujo manga of all things, not that I'm against shoujo, I just haven't really read any other than this one, I think. And I believe that this contains the second 3 volumes, so like volumes 4 through 6 in here, I believe. And so this whole series is about this high school girl named Naho, who gets this mysterious letter one day that claims to be from herself in the future, I think like 10 years in the future or something like that. And the letter basically warns her of this kind of dark and terrible future that is going to happen to her friend Kakeru. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, let me know if I am not. And the letter also outlines very specific details and events of specific days, and as things start to align one by one, Naho starts to realize that maybe there is some credibility to this letter, and so obviously she has no other option, no other alternative but to believe what is going to happen and take the necessary steps in order to prevent this dark and terrible future that may or may not happen to her friend Kakeru, which is obviously a male romantic interest for her. I do think that it is worth a read for anyone who appreciates shoujo or emotional storytelling. Orange covers a lot of very sensitive topics like mental health, regrets, suicide, grief, and so on. And kind of like I mentioned earlier with one of the previous series, this is a story that manages to masterfully bounce back from happiness to sadness like a yo-yo. Ichigo Takano kind of plays with your emotions a lot in this and really makes you feel like you're going through all the highs and lows alongside the characters. And so if you do appreciate emotional storytelling, thought-provoking storytelling, good shoujo series as well, then I do highly recommend reading the Orange manga. This is definitely one of my all-time favorites, and you can't go wrong with it. Anyways guys, that was all the manga that I read in the month of May 2021. If you did happen to like this video, please go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and as always, stay tuned for more. I'll catch you in the next one.